There is a moment in time quiet, yet earth-shattering, a moment that appears soft, but resounds like thunder in the heart of the manipulator. It is the moment the super empath walks away from the narcissist. This is not a loud goodbye. It is not a clash of voices. It is not rage or retaliation. No, it is silence, stillness, presence. That moment is the awakening of inner truth after long endurance. The empath is often mistaken for weak. Because they feel deeply, they are called fragile. Because they give freely, they are seen as expendable. But understand this: to feel deeply and still choose peace, that is not weakness. That is discipline. That is strength. The narcissist lives in illusion. They wear masks. They twist reality. They feed off the emotional responses of others like a flame that needs oxygen. And for a time, the empath gives this oxygen freely, lovingly, believing they are helping to heal. But the super empath is not just a giver. They are also a mirror. When they awaken, they begin to see. They begin to reflect back what was once hidden deception, manipulation, control. And the narcissist cannot survive in the light of such reflection. So there comes a day, not sudden, but inevitable. The day the super empath sees clearly, the day the pain becomes wisdom, the day the love turns inward, not selfishly, but necessarily. On that day, they do not shout. They do not explain. They do not beg. They walk, and with every step, they reclaim their essence. This walking away, it is not rejection. It is not revenge. It is release. The empath no longer carries what was never theirs. They no longer try to fix what refuses to be healed. They no longer dim their light to soothe another's shadow. There is great power in this silence, because silence is not absence. It is presence pure, grounded, undeniable. And in this silence, the narcissist feels something they cannot name. The absence of control, the end of the supply, the closing of the door that was always open. This is not a story of victim and villain. It is a story of return. The super empath returns to their path, to their breath, to their clarity. And in doing so, they teach not through words, but through action. The lesson is simple. Love must flow both ways. Respect is not optional, and freedom is not negotiable. So to those who have given much and suffered much, know this: when you walk away, you do not lose. You win, you do not break. You rise, and in your rising you remind the world. Compassion is powerful, but boundaries are sacred. Let the narcissist watch. Let them wonder, but do not look back. Keep walking, keep rising. The path is yours now. There is something people don't often talk about when it comes to leaving toxic relationships. It's not always the dramatic confrontation or the shouting match that makes the biggest statement. Sometimes it's the quiet. Sometimes it's the silence, not the kind that begs for attention, but the kind that radiates power. The narcissist, at their core, thrives on attention. It doesn't matter if it's praise or conflict, admiration or argument. All that matters is that the spotlight stays on them. They don't just want control. They need it, and attention is their currency. They trade in your reactions. They feed on your emotional energy. If you're sad, they win. If you're angry, they win. If you're desperately trying to explain yourself while they twist your words, they win again. But there is one move they can't counter. One act they cannot twist into supply. One decision that unravels their entire illusion. It is when you go quiet. When you go still. When you go *inward*. Silence for the super empath is not surrender, it's precision. It's strategy. It's the refusal to dance a dance that only drains you. When you stop explaining, when you stop defending, when you stop reacting you starve the very mechanism that the narcissist uses to keep you hooked. At first, this silence may feel unnatural. After all, the empath is built for connection, built for conversation, for understanding, for repair. They want to talk it through, to find common ground, to bring peace. But when you're dealing with someone who doesn't want peace, someone who only wants to win, every word you give them becomes ammunition. Every reaction you offer becomes another thread in their web. So silence becomes sacred. Silence is not absence, it is presence. It is being fully aware, fully awake, and choosing to withhold what they once used to control you. It's a conscious withholding, not out of punishment, but out of clarity. There comes a point where you realize your words won't change them. Your kindness won't shift them. Your vulnerability won't reach them. And in that moment, silence becomes your strength. They will try to provoke you. They'll try to pull you back in with guilt or charm or even chaos. They'll try to make you doubt yourself, make you feel cold, distant, selfish. They'll say, "You've changed," or "You used to care more," or "You're just like everyone else who gives up on me." But silence is not giving up. Silence is saying, "I'm done playing this role." It's not a passive act. It's a choice. A powerful one. It's the empath reclaiming their emotional energy and directing it inward, to heal, to grow, to stabilize. It's no longer leaking energy into a void that never gives back. In that silence, you begin to hear yourself again. Your intuition gets louder, your truth becomes clearer, you stop questioning your reality, you stop needing validation from someone who only ever gave you just enough to keep you confused. And the narcissist, they notice, not because you told them anything, but because you stopped telling them everything. You stopped letting them pull you back into the same exhausting cycles. You stopped lighting the stage they performed on. And when the lights go out, the show ends. That's what makes silence the ultimate resistance. You are no longer playing the game. You are no longer available for manipulation. You are no longer seeking closure from someone who benefits from your confusion. When the super empath becomes silent, the narcissist is left with nothing to echo against. No soundboard to bounce their projections off of. No emotional waves to surf, and in that vacuum they are exposed. The charm can't land, the guilt trips fall flat. The manipulations spiral into nothingness. This silence isn't just about them. It's about you. It's about choosing peace over proving. It's about choosing stillness over chaos. It's about choosing you over the illusion of saving someone who never intended to be saved. And in this silence, the empath finally meets their own strength. Not the strength that keeps enduring, but the strength that finally lets go. The strength that says, "My energy is no longer for sale." The strength that says, "I don't need to be louder. I just need to be clearer. There is no greater clarity than walking away without explanation. Because when you know your worth, you stop offering it up for debate. So let them wonder, let them sit in the space you once filled. Let them feel the silence where your voice used to echo. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. There is a stillness that comes before the storm, but in the case of the super empath, the storm has already passed. What remains is the silence of realization, the clarity that cuts through confusion like a sword through fog. That clarity is awareness, and awareness is always the beginning. Awareness is not simply seeing something. It is understanding it, feeling it, integrating it. It is the moment the empath, who has long been caught in the swirl of someone else's emotional chaos, steps back and finally sees the game for what it is. Not with resentment, not with hatred, but with truth. You don't know you're dancing with a narcissist until you've spun around enough times to get dizzy. At first you think it's you. Maybe you're too sensitive. Maybe you're overthinking. Maybe if you just tried harder, loved more deeply, gave just a little bit more, things would shift. You keep rationalizing the patterns, the coldness followed by charm, the put-downs hidden in compliments, the endless cycles of blame and false forgiveness. But then the awareness begins to bloom. It starts quietly, like a whisper in the back of your mind. Something doesn't feel right. You begin to question not just them, but the reality you've been living in. That questioning is sacred. It is the soul trying to speak through the noise of manipulation. And when you listen, truly listen, you realize you were not crazy. You were being conditioned to question yourself, conditioned to minimize your needs, conditioned to apologize for things you didn't do, conditioned to mistake control for care. Once this realization settles into your bones, something shifts forever. You can never unsee what has been revealed, and that's where power returns. See, awareness is not loud. It doesn't demand attention, but it is unshakable. Once the empath becomes aware of the dynamics, the manipulation, the emotional bait laid at their feet, they begin to observe instead of react. And the narcissist can no longer pull the same strings. Imagine someone trying to puppeteer a figure who has suddenly dropped the strings from their hands. The dance is over. The show can't go on. That is what awareness does. But it's not easy. It costs something. Awareness strips away the illusion, and with it, the comfort of denial. Because even if the narcissist's love was conditional, even if the affection was manipulative, the empath still held on to hope. Letting go of the fantasy is one of the deepest losses. It feels like a death, not of the narcissist, but of the dream. The dream that maybe, just maybe, this person would change. And yet when that dream dies, something greater is born. Self-respect. The super empath doesn't just walk away because they're tired. They walk away because they've seen asterisk. And when you see asterisk, you choose differently. You no longer engage to prove your worth. You no longer try to win someone's love by sacrificing your own peace. You no longer shrink so someone else can feel big. You no longer tolerate what once felt familiar, because familiarity is not the same as love. Now, many people around you won't understand this shift. They'll say things like, "But they looked so happy together," or "He seemed so charming," or "She was just stressed. Maybe you misunderstood." That's because narcissists are masters of the outer mask. They perform well in public and destroy quietly in private. But the empath knows, the body knows, the soul knows, and once you become aware, you stop asking for permission to leave a space that is slowly killing your spirit. You stop waiting for the other person to validate your pain. You stop making excuses for patterns you now see clearly. This is not about blaming. This is about understanding. The narcissist is who they are. The empath was trying to help, trying to love, trying to heal. But healing doesn't happen when one person is building and the other is burning. Awareness teaches you that your empathy must have boundaries, that your care must be conscious, that love, real love, is not sacrifice, it's mutuality. And so, the empath wakes up. They look around and realize, I have a choice. That is the moment power returns, not because the narcissist gave it back, but because the empath reclaimed it. You can only be manipulated in the dark. Awareness turns on the light, and once the light is on, you don't keep standing in the same room pretending you can't see the mess. You open the door, you breathe in, and you walk, because nothing is more powerful than the moment you see clearly and decide to choose *U*.